To truly grasp the significance of a warning, it's essential to first understand the person behind it, their motivations, their history, and the values that drive them to speak out. The credibility and urgency of any message depend on the life and experience of the messenger. Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts stands out as a unique force in Washington, D.C. Not just another face in the crowd, but a leader with a distinct voice and a relentless drive for reform. Before entering politics, Warren was a renowned Harvard law professor. She dedicated decades to studying the financial struggles of everyday Americans, digging deep into why so many families, despite working hard, still found themselves on the brink of financial ruin. Her research revealed a harsh truth. The economic system was stacked against ordinary people, favoring big banks and corporations over working families. Warren's expertise and passion for justice propelled her into the national spotlight after the 2008 financial crisis. She didn't just critique the system, she took action, proposing and helping to establish the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, a watchdog agency designed to protect consumers from predatory lenders and financial abuses. This bold move cemented her reputation as a fighter, someone who doesn't just talk about change, but actually makes it happen. She became a symbol of accountability and hope for millions who felt left behind. Warren is famous for her meticulous policy proposals and her now iconic catchphrase, "I've got a plan for that." Her approach is rooted in research, transparency, and a deep belief that government can and should work for everyone, not just the wealthy and well-connected. As a senior senator and a leading voice in the progressive movement, Warren's speeches are more than just political performances. They are carefully crafted interventions, designed to spark debate, inspire action, and push the boundaries of what's possible in American politics. So when Elizabeth Warren took the stage at the National Press Club in January 2026, the moment carried real weight. This wasn't just another speech on the political calendar, it was a rallying cry, a challenge to her party and the nation, delivered by one of the most formidable and respected figures in American politics. Her message that day was clear and urgent. It was time for the Democratic Party to confront its core values, to have the tough conversations about its future, and to decide what kind of country it wants to build for the next generation. At the National Press Club, Warren delivered a political earthquake. The room was packed with journalists, party insiders, and activists, all waiting to hear what she would say in the wake of the Democrats' stunning defeat. The air was thick with anticipation, and as Warren stepped up to the podium, it was clear this would not be a routine speech. She offered a blunt post-mortem of the Democrats' 2024 losses, warning the party was falling into a trap of its own making. Warren didn't sugarcoat the situation, she spoke directly to the party's leadership, urging them to face hard truths, rather than retreat into comfortable excuses. Her words cut through the usual political spin, demanding accountability and honest reflection. Her core argument was simple but devastating. Democrats are listening more to wealthy donors than to working-class voters. She painted a vivid picture of a party increasingly out of touch with the people it claims to represent, more concerned with cocktail parties and fundraising dinners than with the daily struggles of ordinary Americans. A party that worries more about offending big donors than delivering for working people is doomed to fail, she declared. Her voice rang out, echoing through the hall, as she challenged her colleagues to remember who they were supposed to serve. Warren rejected the idea that Democrats lost because they were too progressive. Instead, she argued, the party lost because it abandoned its core principles. She insisted that the answer wasn't to move to the center or water down their message, but to stand up for the values that once made the party a force for change. She called for a return to bold economic populism, not moderation. Warren urged Democrats to fight for policies that would make a real difference in people's lives, raising wages, expanding healthcare, and taking on corporate power. She reminded the audience that real progress comes from courage, not caution. Americans, she said, want leaders who understand their struggles and will take on powerful interests. She spoke of families struggling to pay bills, workers worried about their jobs, and communities left behind by economic change. Warren insisted that the party must listen to these voices, not just those with money and influence. Her speech was both a critique and a rallying cry, rediscover your populist roots or risk irrelevance. She called on Democrats to remember their history as the party of working people, and to reclaim that legacy with bold action and unapologetic advocacy. The warning was clear: if Democrats keep pleasing elites, they'll betray the very people they claim to fight for. Warren's message was unmistakable. The future of the party depends on whose side it chooses to stand on, and the time to choose is now. At the heart of Warren's message is economic populism, the belief that government and the economy should work for everyone, not just the privileged few. She argues that the true measure of a nation's success isn't found in stock market numbers or corporate profits, but in the everyday lives of ordinary Americans. Warren's vision is rooted in the idea that democracy should serve the people who build this country: teachers, nurses, factory workers, and small business owners, not just the wealthy elite or powerful corporations. She urged Democrats to champion policies that address the real financial anxieties of working families, not just abstract ideas or niche issues. Warren believes that the party must listen to the concerns of everyday people, those struggling to pay their bills, raise their children, and plan for the future. She calls for a renewed focus on the kitchen table issues that matter most to families across the country. That means talking about the cost of groceries, student debt, housing, and medical emergencies in plain language. Warren insists that politicians must speak honestly about the challenges people face, like rising rents, unaffordable healthcare, and the burden of student loans. She wants leaders to offer real solutions, not just political slogans, so that families can feel secure and hopeful about their futures. Warren's vision is bold: take on corporate power, break up monopolies, crack down on price gouging, and make the wealthy pay their fair share. She believes that unchecked corporate influence has rigged the system against working people, and that it's time for government to stand up to big business. By holding powerful interests accountable, Warren argues, we can restore fairness and opportunity for all. She pointed to recent Democratic victories fueled by this populist focus, even amid inflation. These wins, she says, prove that when the party stands with working people and fights for their needs, it can overcome even the toughest political challenges. Warren sees these successes as evidence that a people-first agenda resonates with voters from all walks of life. Her plea is clear: reclaim the party's identity as the champion of the working class. Warren calls on Democrats to remember their roots and to put the needs of everyday Americans at the center of their platform. She believes that only by standing with workers, families, and communities can the party truly represent the nation. For Warren, this isn't just a moral imperative, it's the only path back to power. She believes that by fighting for fairness, opportunity, and justice, Democrats can rebuild trust and inspire hope, leading the way toward a stronger, more inclusive future for all Americans. Warren zeroed in on what she calls the elite trap. When a party becomes dependent on wealthy donors, its priorities shift. Relying on big checks makes the party hesitant to support bold reforms that might upset those donors. The result? Watered-down policies and a loss of populist energy. The language changes too. Less talk of a rigged system, more business-friendly rhetoric. This alienates working-class voters, who may stay home or turn to faux populists like Trump. Warren's warning: a party with a full war chest but an empty soul can't win. Her solution: build a grassroots funding base and advocate for a truly populist agenda. Warren's speech landed in the middle of the party's core conflict: progressives versus moderates. Progressives like Warren and Sanders want bold change, Medicare for all, a Green New Deal, and higher taxes on the rich. They believe inspiring voters with a transformative vision is the key to victory. Moderates argue the opposite win by appealing to swing voters with incremental, business-friendly policies. This battle shapes primaries, funding, and the party's message. Warren's speech was a direct challenge to the moderate worldview, blaming caution and compromise for the party's losses. The fight over the party's soul is far from settled. Warren's urgency comes from the real economic pain families feel every day. Inflation has made paychecks stretch less. Groceries, rent, and healthcare all cost more. A weekly grocery bill that once was $150 now tops $220, straining budgets. Housing is out of reach for many, and surprise medical bills can be devastating. These aren't personal failures, they're systemic problems that leave people feeling powerless. Corporations post record profits while raising prices, fueling anger and frustration. When Democrats ignore this pain, they create a vacuum Republicans are eager to fill. Warren argues Democrats must speak directly to these struggles, or risk losing the voters who need them most. The economic squeeze is the heart of the fight for the party's future. Not everyone in the party agrees with Warren's populist approach. Moderates argue Democrats lost in 2024 because they were seen as too liberal, scaring off swing voters. They believe Warren's strategy is toxic in battleground states and prefer pragmatic, incremental solutions. Moderates point to candidates who won by distancing themselves from the party's left wing. They argue voters want stability, not radical change, and that anti-corporate rhetoric alienates key suburban voters. This debate shapes which candidates get funding and what policies are prioritized. The tension between these visions will define the party's direction heading into 2026. Warren insists Democrats can't just oppose Trump, they must offer real solutions. She urges the party to hold Republicans accountable on economic issues and contrast Trump's failures with their own plans. For every problem, Democrats must say, "Here's our plan to fix it." That means campaigning on lowering drug prices, cracking down on price gouging, and strengthening supply chains. The goal: make the consequences of Republican rule personal and tangible for voters. By pairing accountability with a positive agenda, Democrats can rebuild trust with working families. Warren's strategy: prove through action that Democrats are the true party of the American worker. Warren's speech was more than a critique. It was a call to choose between two futures. One path: moderation, elite accommodation, and political timidity, leading to defeat and disconnection from working Americans. The other: bold economic populism, confronting corporate power, and fighting for real relief for families. Warren calls for a return to the party's roots, championing economic dignity and security. The choice is stark: chase swing voters with caution, or build a new majority by standing with the working class. The answer, Warren contends, will decide not just the next election, but the soul of the Democratic Party for a generation. The future of the party, and the country, hangs in the balance.